Welcome to Vet Inspired. Is your cat urinating outside the box? Are you frustrated that it's not a urinary tract infection and antibiotics won't help? Let's talk about cat enrichment to help de-stress your cat. When I talk to my clients about their cats urinating outside the box, and I know it totally can be frustrating, but we have to talk to see what has been going on previously in the house over the last couple of weeks or even months. Cats get very stressed out when things change in their environment, and I relate it to that if you move a blanket across the room, if the cat doesn't want it there, yeah, he can go pee on it. And that's how they react. So there are a few things that you can do to help decrease the stress in the house because our lives are ever changing. One thing you can do is get a cat tower for your cat. Includes stuff that he can climb up or she can climb up on or even hide in. Hiding is a way that cats cope with stress and fear. So what you might notice is that when you have somebody new come over, your cat is always hiding and hiding under the bed. Or when somebody new comes over, your cat likes to sit on top of the furniture or on top someplace high. The reason for this is cats like to hide when there's stressful behaviors going on, but they also like to monitor their environment. They'd like to watch out for dangers, and that's why the cat tower is so important. Because not only do they give places for them to hide, but it also gives places for them to perch up and look around their whole environment. On top of this, it also offers a lot of different play options and just places where they can run up and down. So it's definitely something that I would consider. If you're looking for some cat towers, you can check out the description. I'm going to leave a link in there so that way it's easy for you to order straight from Amazon. Another thing you have to consider is where they're being fed. So cats like to be fed in a quiet area. They don't like to have a lot of noise or a lot of commotion. And many people do try to feed them in the laundry room next to the washer and dryer or next to the furnace in the basement, which can tend to be really disruptive. It can absolutely keep them on their toes while they're eating, and they're not going to eat appropriately, and they're going to be a little stressed out. So it's important to find a place that is quiet for them. Some people choose the kitchen, some people choose a bathroom that people don't really go in, or even a bedroom that's a spare room that people don't go in that much. On top of this, cats love to hunt. So if you want to provide them some mental stimulation and to help with their hunting, you can actually purchase the Dock and Phoebe feeders. This is a feeding system that was designed by a veterinarian to help with this. And what it is, it's mice that you actually put food in and you hide it throughout the house. They can spend the day looking for their food and eating it when they find it. And it's a great way to keep them stimulated and happy. Cats also love to sharpen their claws. Now, if you have a cat who has front claws, it is important to provide them an area to do that. So we don't want it to be your furniture. We don't want it to be your bed. We want it to be someplace appropriate. And if you go back to the cat towers, you can actually buy a cat tower that has a scratching post on it. But there are scratching posts, and I'll put a link in the description for cats. And it's important to provide them an area to scratch and one that they like. So you might have to buy a few different scratching posts to see which one your cat actually enjoys. You also have to play with your cat. And I tell people about 15 minutes a day should be dedicated to your cat. There are different toys that you can use, laser pointers, stuff like that. Just don't use your hands. The biggest thing that you have to consider is their litter boxes. This, I feel like, is one of the biggest factors on why cats urinate out the box. A lot of times people don't have enough litter boxes, they don't have them in the appropriate places, and they don't use the right litter. So cats typically like the clumping litter. I know that it gets all over the place when they track it, but it is the litter that most cats generally prefer. On top of this, you have to have however many cats you have plus one in litter boxes. So if you have 2 cats, you should have 3 boxes. If you have 4 cats, you should have 5 boxes. This doesn't mean that you put all boxes next to each other. It technically counts as one. So it's important to separate them also. I also tell people you want one on each level of your home, and you want to separate them. On top of this, you want to make sure that the lip on the box is not too high because as cats get older, they do become arthritic and it is harder for them to step over the lip of the box. And you have to consider if your cat would like a covered or an uncovered box. Imagine walking into a bathroom that is dirty and closing the door. Imagine the smell. And that's what your cats are feeling when they walk into a covered litter box. So I would let them choose what they would like. And some cats do prefer covered and some cats prefer uncovered. But I tend to find that more cats prefer the uncovered box. You also need to make sure that they are in a quiet space. Don't put them next to the washing machine that is unleveled. Don't put them next to the furnace. Again, put them in a quiet place and not next to their food bowl. So if you're putting their food in the bathroom that nobody really uses, try not to put their litter box there also, because nobody wants to eat where they go to the bathroom. And last but not least, with regards to the litter box, you really need to clean them every day. Imagine going into a stall in the restroom and there's still somebody else's stuff in there, and the toilet's dirty. You're not going to use it. You're going to go to the next stall that's clean. You most likely won't even flush it. So you have to think of it like that. When they go to use the litter box, they need to have other choices if they use that litter box last and it wasn't cleaned yet. Cleaning the litter box daily is very important to making sure your cat doesn't go outside of the box. And one last thing that you can do is get Feel Away diffusers. So Feel Away releases natural pheromones that mother cats give to their kittens. So it creates a calming environment for them. And you can put them around your house, and hopefully this will de-stress your cat enough. And with all of the other environmental enrichments and changes that you've done, your cat will hopefully stop urinating outside the box. Cats typically don't have urinary tract infections. I'm not saying they never do, because there are cats that do, but usually it's due to some behavioral things and some changes and stuff that have gone on in the home. So it's definitely important to consider changes that you're making to your house or your home when you have a cat. And that could include moving furniture. It could include somebody going off to college. It can include a new baby coming in. There's definitely things that we need to consider. I would talk to your veterinarian if your cat is urinating outside the box, or if your cat cannot urinate, which is a life-threatening emergency. So if your cat cannot urinate, you need to take them to the vet immediately. If you have any questions or comments, you can absolutely drop them below. And don't forget to subscribe. Every time I release a video, you will get a notification.